So, I've just finished reading The War of Art by Pressfield, which is the book heavily recommended by Joe Rogan. He mentions it in like every other video. It's one of the best books I've read this year, so I wanted to put together a summary and main takeaway video for anyone who doesn't want to commit to reading it just yet. The pubs just have reopened, to be fair. So, summary. Stephen is an author well known for writing fiction and screenplays, who's also ventured into non-fiction like this book. So the main theme of the book is resistance and how it stops us doing anything worthwhile. So there are two types of people, professionals and amateurs. Amateurs give in to resistance, professionals push through it. So we can all go from being an amateur to being a professional if we understand what resistance is and how to overcome it. Here are the traits of a professional who overcomes resistance. We show up every day, we show up no matter what, we stay on the job all day, we are committed over the long haul, the stakes for us are high and real, we accept remuneration for our labour, I don't know if I've said that right, we do not over-identify with our jobs, we master the technique of our jobs, we have a sense of humour about our jobs, we receive praise or blame in the real world. And essentially, amateurs do the opposite. So main points to take away. I think the main point to take away is that you should listen to the voice in your head, but not believe it. We aren't our thoughts or emotions. It's our ego that creates them with the sole purpose of survival, which creates resistance to what we should truly be doing. It's only when we understand that we have an ego working against us, creating resistance, then we can accept and push through it. Let's go through some of the most interesting quotes from the book. It was easier for Hitler to start World War II than it was for him to face a blank square of canvas. So this clearly isn't literal if we dissect it, but in terms of facing resistance, it makes sense. Try sitting down alone in a quiet room without distractions and just let your thoughts come to you. Don't judge them, block them out or change them, just let them appear. That's the only way to judge how at peace you truly are. Most of us will have negative thoughts, guilt and past mistakes appear, but how at peace we are with them determines our quality of life and how we face resistance. Imagine Hitler doing that. Imagine the kind of hatred and evil that appeared for him. Now imagine how at peace he was with them. Of course, not at all. That's the resistance. He resisted his thoughts and emotions, didn't try to accept or conquer them, which amplified them to create a vacuum of hate growing inside him. Whereas if he pushed through the resistance and started to truly accept instead of resist, well, the world would be a pretty different place. So the one most powerful takeaway I took from this book is that resistance to something, whether that business I'm starting or new workout routines, means that I'm actually doing something worthwhile. If I embrace the process rather than just think about the results and love my work, as another quote goes, the professional, though he accepts money, does his work out of love, then I can venture into the realm of the professional. So if I'm not terrified by my work, along with the resistance I get before starting each task, then it's probably not a worthwhile project. Another quote goes, the amateur believes he must first become the fear, then he can do the work. The professional knows that the fear can never be overcome. He knows there's no such thing as a fearless warrior or a dread-free artist. So this is a common concept in personal development. There's no such thing as learning and then doing, because there's always more to learn and you can only learn certain things by doing, which creates the paradox. So the only option is to start before you're ready. By the way, if you're enjoying this analysis, I'd really appreciate if you could drop me a like and also subscribe if you're interested in self-improvement videos. So I post videos just like this every week. So next quote, a professional distances herself from her instrument. So this is another common theme throughout, is that we're not our work. Yes, we need to challenge resistance and find what is truly meaningful, but that doesn't mean we need to identify with our work. The point here isn't to say that we can't go all in on our projects. It means that we need to remember to see it as a separate entity to us. So if an artist is completely emotionally connected to their first painting, then that first negative critique will ruin them. Instead, they need to look at it logically and without emotion, and only then can they improve. So the best and only thing one artist can do for another is to serve as an example and an inspiration. So this is another common theme in self-improvement. People don't want to take your advice. In fact, studies have shown that being given advice actually makes it more likely that they'll want to go against it. I actually have a video on this very topic if you want to check it out. But so the best way to change the world is to serve as an example of who you want the world to become. If you're on high vibrations and thriving, at peace and without jealousy, then people will naturally want to follow your path. So, conclusion and analysis. I've noticed that whether it's Buddhism, Stoicism or various self-help books, it all comes down to the battle between our ego and our higher self. Our ego is a result of evolution and environmental wiring, which Stephen Pressfield called resistance. Our higher self is found when we understand that and instead choose actions that align with our true self, not our ego self in the present moment. So the same comparison can be found in Outwitting the Devil, where Napoleon Hill talks about acting according to God, not the devil like the majority of people. A similar comparison is found in Taoism, where they use the yin-yang symbol to portray order and chaos. The point in all these books, theories and philosophies isn't that we should never act on the other side of God, order or our higher self. It's that we need both to survive, but our life's purpose should be to understand that the distraction's pulling us away from our true self and work to accept it as a necessity to survive. After all, if we didn't have a fight or flight response or the need for shelter, we wouldn't last very long. But we should strive towards our true self in each present moment, being constantly aware of our thoughts and emotions and disidentifying with them. When you're truly detached from your thoughts and emotions, the identity that you have created for yourself, then only then can you truly thrive. Otherwise, you'll never know if you're acting as your true self deep down or whether you're just a cluster of genes multiplying over and over. That focus on awareness is why I recommend this book so much and why I think everyone should read it. You can get it on Amazon and it's really short, so I definitely recommend you reading it in full. I would literally be a different person if I didn't read books, like financially, socially, spiritually. And when you consider that books are a subject expert's life work condensed into a £10 book, you realise that the return on investment is unmatched to anything else, and that's why I can't imagine that I ever stop reading. I'm really passionate about it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you took any value at all from this video, I really would appreciate if you could hit the like button and let me know if you enjoyed this, and I'll do similar videos in the future. So I post weekly videos on building discipline and an unbreakable mindset. If you're looking to improve your life, then hit the subscribe button and join the community. I've also just released a free playbook to getting your life together. It takes you through the step-by-step process that I use to go from anxious and lazy to fulfilled and productive. It's completely free, so grab it while you can. It's the first link in the description, and I really appreciate your support because I'm still a tiny channel. So yeah, I do appreciate you watching this to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.